Hi friends, my name is Micah Mortali, and I'm here to talk with you about the practice of green gazing. Screen use in the United States has grown exponentially in the last 20 years, as you know. The average American now spends 11 hours a day on a screen and over 90% of their lives indoors. Children in the United States spend 8 hours a day on media outside of school. Too much time on screens leads to something which is called directed attention fatigue. And I want to share with you a practice that I call green gazing to help you restore your attention after you are online or looking at a screen for prolonged periods. So directed attention fatigue is essentially what happens when we are focusing on a task that we're doing. It could be on a screen, or it could just be a focused task, perhaps a document or a spreadsheet that you might be working on. After a prolonged period of focus, what happens is the brain gets tired. And this is because when we're attempting to focus for a prolonged period, we have to inhibit distractions that are trying to pull our attention away. And it's that work of inhibiting all of these other distractions that fatigues the brain and leads to directed attention fatigue. So you probably have experienced this in the afternoon. It's very common after lunch, but it can happen any time in the day where you just don't feel as productive. You're not as able to maintain focus. You're perhaps not as able to think clearly when you're experiencing directed attention fatigue. Now, the really neat thing about all of this is that the antidote for directed attention fatigue is something called fascination attention. And fascination attention is what happens when we look out the window at a natural setting. So, because human beings didn't evolve in offices working on computers or holding our focus on a single task for 8 hours straight, our neurology is hardwired to take in natural settings. So when we look out the window and we see the clouds going by or we see the wind blowing through the trees, that's fascinating. And what it allows us to do is not have to inhibit. We simply allow our attention to move from one thing which is beautiful or fascinating to another. A bird in the tree, a squirrel hopping along the grass, sound of the wind, the movement of light and shadow as the clouds are crossing the sky, right? You can probably remember as a child, perhaps in school growing up, maybe after lunch, looking out the window and taking in the beautiful scenery, and you probably got in trouble for that. But as a kid, you knew what you needed, and you needed to rest your attention by looking out the window. So we can do this outside, certainly while we're hiking or practicing yoga or meditation outdoors. But I'd like to offer green gazing through the window because if for some reason you can't leave the house, you can do this inside. So all you need to do is find a comfortable seat or stand by an open window and let your attention look out on a natural setting. It could be just a single tree. It might be an open green space, maybe your backyard, just something that has some nature in it. If you don't have any green, you can always look up at the sky. Right? And then give yourself 5 to 10 minutes to just gaze and allow your attention to move from whatever you find beautiful or fascinating to the next thing that you find beautiful or fascinating. And after 5 or 10 minutes, you can come back to what you were doing, and I think you'll find that you feel refreshed and able to be productive and get back to what you were working on before. Begin by receiving a few slow, deep breaths in and out. Let your exhale be longer than your inhale. This helps to stimulate the relaxation response in the body. As you exhale, let go of your to-dos and your plans. As you inhale, receiving the gift of life through the breath. And as you exhale, letting go of any worries, concerns, or tension in your body. As you connect with your breath, allow your gaze to go where it will. Let your attention wander over the land, up into the sky and clouds. Let your gaze explore shadow and light, movement and stillness. Let it follow sounds you hear, allowing yourself to explore nature's mysteries as they unfold outside your window. As you continue to breathe, simply paying attention to nature on purpose and with a sense of curiosity. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. At home in the natural world. When you notice that you're back in your thinking mind, that's okay. When you notice that, just return to the earth and notice what's happening now. When you feel complete and refreshed, invite a full breath in and release with a gentle sigh or a sound. Green gazing is an easy practice that you can do anytime that you're near a window, and especially if you're working at home or in your office and you're on a computer, take frequent breaks to look outside and rest your attention and be fascinated. Let the presence and beauty of the natural world be a part of your mindfulness practice, be a part of your self-care practice, because it can restore us to a state of calm, to a state of connection, to a state of clarity. And it's a powerful, powerful practice for health and well-being. So make sure to take time to look outside and also get outside. And if you can, take your yoga and your meditation practice outside.